Good afternoon. I almost said good morning. It is the afternoon, 4 o'clock here in California. Welcome to the channel. I am Mrs. Best, and I do have my regular co-host here from the Watch Your Mouth Reviews channel, James.
Hey.
James? Good morning. See?
Hello.
Good afternoon, not good morning.
We same difference.
Child, what's wrong
It's
with
morning somewhere. Don't worry about that.
Thank you, Fred. Thank you, Fred. I do encourage everybody to see the links in the description of this video. Please subscribe to James's channel. We are actually going to be making some changes. We have soft launched, not even a launch, but we have announced that we have created a joint YouTube channel where we're going to discuss a lot more than just reality television. We have asked some of you guys to subscribe. I feel like because I've done that, it's only right that I announce it on this live, and James is not making any angry faces at me, so I feel like he's okay with it. I probably should check the photo. But we have sent out the information to some of you. James has shared it to his page. I have shared it to my page. A big thank you to Kiwan JTV and Shayna_MCDTV for both sharing and subscribing to our joint channel. Myself and James decided to do a channel to share more of our friendship because we often end up kind of going off topic from the reality shows and discussing other things. So we're like, F it, let's create a place where we can actively do that. So please support the channel. You'll learn a lot more about James. I think he'll probably be much more vulnerable on that channel than I am because he has more life changes happening than I do.
Unfortunately, I do, and it's
not a bad thing. It's not an unfortunate.
It's not a bad thing, but for the outside looking in, it does not look bad. It's just like somebody who's just trying to reinvent himself. From the person inside looking outwards, it is someone who's on a constant roller coaster that is never ending. Emotions are all over the place. Situations are very twist and turned and overlooped. I've had enough. I want to get off the roller coaster, but that is my life.
You'll get off. Everyone goes through these things, but you'll get off. Just don't give up. But he'll share some of his struggles, how he overcomes them. There'll be like a lot more relatable, down to earth content that we're going to share. We'll also be sharing what it's like maintaining a very close friendship for almost 20 years.
Almost 20 years, yeah. It'll be 20 years this year, yeah.
In different states. So don't let your friend tell you that because they moved across the state that now y'all suddenly not close. It's never an excuse. But that is our little announcement. So we will start figuring out content and getting it out. But we do encourage everyone that watches either my channel or whether you subscribe to James's channel, if you enjoy the both of us together, come by the joint channel. The link is in the description of this video. It is called Watch Yo B3ST Best Friends. Other than that, y'all, let's get into 90 Day Fiance before the 90 days. This episode is titled For Your Safety, Please Remain Seated. And I was glad I was seated watching this stuff because my God.
It was a lot.
It was a lot. It was really a lot.
Every single couple. It was like, and it just kept going on and on and on. And I'm just like, y'all listen, I had just ate breakfast. I watching this and I'm like, okay, my usual suspects, Lisa and Daniel, okay, they just about right. But then when we move on to the other couples, I'm like, wait, all y'all can't have shit going on. Thank God Emma wasn't on this episode because I would have lost my mind.
Child, Emma, I think if Emma was on the episode, people would have logged off, and they were right to not do that.
Yes.
This episode was a lot, y'all. So we're gonna start with Forrest and Sheena. We're gonna go over what happened with them in the episode. So Forrest is in the Philippines, and I just have to say this disclaimer before we get into it. I have seen the photos on the internet of Forrest and Sheena in the Philippines with her family at her family's bed and breakfast. I have seen photos of them timestamped for 2019. I've also seen photos timestamped for 2023. So we know that Forrest and Sheena have met each other in real time at least twice. And honestly, that's realistic. With the distance between them, he saw her in 2019. waited for COVID, took a couple years, then 2023 saw her. So that does actually make sense in terms of savings and, you know, getting out there. Because one of the things I think myself and James noticed, and probably everyone watching, is Forrest and Sheena had hella chemistry. Like if they had just known each other. Now, yes, I understand when you talk to someone on the internet, you could meet them in person and the chemistry's there. But there's also still those moments where it's like you're waiting to see and get comfortable to even explore that. I did meet my husband on the internet, so I've been there. I get it. But they had like the chemistry of they done been there, done that, seen each other naked.
Now, let me ask you a question because this is my first time watching the show. Never really heard, well, I've heard about it, but never really fell into the antics. Is that a protocol for them to know each other versus not knowing each other, or does the network care if they have met before? Because it seems like it's couples who've never met before.
The network doesn't generally care, from what I've gotten from 90 Day Fiance. The network doesn't generally care if they've met each other. Some of them have seen each other before, and a lot of them have not. But with this specific part of 90 Day Fiance, before the 90 days, usually they haven't, or if they have, it's only once. The problem that a lot of the audience has, for those of us who've watched the show regularly, is the lie. They told us they've never met. They told us her parents know nothing of her. They told us all these things that obviously weren't true. And it's looking like a lot of this is for a storyline, because nothing bad's come out about Forrest or Sheena. No one's saying they're scam artists like Lisa, cough, cough. It's just that they may have lied about their timeline. But he wants to uncover what's going on with Sheena's lies. He says he knows his mama because we're coming to the day that Molly is going to arrive. And you know what, Molly, while I don't like how you are discussing sexual things with your child, I'm on your side, auntie. I'm on your side, Molly. I really am. And I'll tell y'all why at the end of it. But Forrest is nervous because his mama's coming, and he says, I know my mama gonna get to the bottom of it, essentially. And he still wants to tell Sheena's family that they're cutting him off. And I'm like, Forrest, baby, you just told Sheena's family that you don't have a job and you're living off the taxpayers' money, because that's literally what's happening right now. So what do you mean you're cutting them off? He used they as in plural, as he and Sheena are cutting him off, as in Sheena's money is his money, and it's not. Forrest, you and your $889 a month that you get from the federal government, I wanted, and you lucky if it's that, because with the disability that you got, it's more like $688, if I'm being honest, on the West Coast. And I work in this field. I've seen award letters from Social Security Administration, sure have. He is not getting a lot of money. So the fact that you're like, I'm telling her family to cut her off, not with your money, Negro. You telling the family to cut, you want them cut off with her money so that what, she could spend it on you. So I'm starting to look at Forrest with the side eye, because he's not going to use his disability as a reason that he can't reason. Like, you have nothing to offer. You don't get to tell them nothing. Did you feel the same?
Yeah, I did. I felt like, okay, that's not your business because she's not your wife. So you can't tell this lady to cut off her family from money, regardless of what it looks like or what you feel they may have. That's not your place, nor that should be your concern, especially if you two do decide to get married and she comes to the US. Because are you going to cut Molly off from being all up in your business?
That's the truth.
I'm just asking. I mean, inquiring minds want to know. I don't feel like that's fair. And I feel like, to me, if she's in a position where she can help her family, like, I know we'll get to it in a minute, but if she's in that position, let her do it. I don't understand the problem, especially if she decides to come to the United States and have her same career that she has. She's going to make a whole lot more money.
Oh, yes, she is. She's going to make so much more money.
Yeah, especially if y'all get out the Dallas, Oregon, and she goes to Portland, absolutely she's going to make money. Because Sheena, don't get me wrong, if y'all do decide to go, baby, you got to get up out that motorhome park, and y'all got to go move to the city. So you can get you an actual fair chance at a career that is actually really needed, because really veterinarians aren't really like, the field is not really as picked up as medical is. So she would actually have a great shot in
That's
Oregon.
true. That's
She
true.
really would.
I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree. Y'all, Molly shows up and immediately sees red flags. Molly is not playing. Okay, Molly
Child,
comes in.
Molly didn't even wait till she got out that car good. Molly was already looking up in the sky. Oh.
She said, "What have we here?" Okay. Molly says something is not making sense. And honestly, she is correct. Molly's under the impression that Sheena is being essentially like used by her parents for money. Molly's under the impression that Sheena's being forced to pay and told that if she does not pay, she'll be disowned by her family and all these other crazy things. So, for Molly to show up and see that the family owns this beautiful property, multi-story B&B, pool, garden area, beautiful flowers, chefs, all this stuff. She's like, wait a minute, lady, I thought you were poor. Now, this is why you should also do your research, because the Philippines, when it comes to studies of veterinary medicine and the education and income, is pretty much comparable to the US. So when she said her field of work, I kind of had a feeling that she was well off, especially when she showed herself at work. In the earlier season, it looked like she worked for herself. But the family ends up having a traditional dinner, and I thought this was nice of Molly to do, but I mean, she served them a spread. She should have really warned her family or had them talk before the dinner about this, because the dinner alone, it was beautiful. It was traditional, cultural. And you know, Filipino people, they know how to cook.
They
Okay,
sure
so I
do.
know that
I was looking at everything. I was like, I said, who's gonna get the fish in the middle? Because Lord, all that shrimp and yes.
And listen, the stepdad, Molly's husband, was quiet. He was just eating through it all. I peeped that
Mhm.
when they were showing the camera at the table. Things got heated, and all you saw was Molly's husband. He
Just
wasn't even
gumming.
looking. He didn't even care.
Baby, just gumming. I just saw all that. I said, oh Lord.
But Molly, you did your job. You gave us a show and you did your job, because Molly mentions to the family, she is like, the expectations of the home is much different from what she was expecting from what she was told. And she asked the family if they're okay with Sheena moving to the United States. And the family was like, yeah, this has always been a dream of hers. And Molly's like, wait a minute, something not clicking. Nothing is making sense. And this is where Forrest's dad issues concerned. He's like, yeah, it's been her dream, but how will she live in the United States if Forrest has very low income? How is he going to support his wife and family? Which is valid, because this is not a cultural thing. Even in America, trust and believe, American women, black, white, polka dot, Asian, Native American, indigenous, whatever the fuck you want to call it, we don't want no lazy ass man. Okay, you ain't got to be rich, but I need to know that if I lose my job or I get burnt out and need to quit my job, that you can handle the household. And yes, I have tested that with my own husband, because there's been times I don't have to walk out of jobs like, F this, F that, F y'all, I'm going to college. And he supported me for all those years through it. Women want to know in a heterosexual relationship that their man can lead and handle stuff. Doesn't mean they have to be rich. There's some bitches that are a little more materialistic and shallow and have higher expectations. But for the most part, we all expect some type of leadership and self-sufficiency. That's like the bare minimum. Now, it doesn't seem like Forrest has that, since he's living off other people's money, when it looked like if you could question these people about their daughter's income, then you could get a job, Forrest. Okay? You got on a plane and flew halfway around the world to question somebody else about their money. If you could do that, you could get a job, and you might want to get a job on the phone doing something if you're that aggressive. I'm just saying. But the damages are concerns, and Molly says, let's put Forrest to the side, and I want to know why you guys are taking all of your daughter's earnings. I said, Molly.
I said,
You still gonna have to answer for your child, though, Molly. Like, I respect her for getting the answers to the question. I feel like James did too. But, baby, no, Forrest is also a red flag, just like Sheena. Why this boy ain't got no job? Because the government will let him work 24 to 26 hours a month with a Social Security check. Why he ain't got no job? They got gas stations in the Dalles, Oregon.
they
They got
sure do.
jobs. Come on now. I just want to know.
Hell, he can work in that sex shop that y'all keep frequenting. Like, I mean, the hell. But for me, baby, it was Sheena for me sitting over there, her head tilted, just about to bust out crying like she was holding them tears. And she said, I said, no, don't get to crying. But keep going because it get good.
Sheena cracks me the hell up. She cracks me up with her face, and I'm glad you brought that up. But Molly's asking him about the earnings, and she goes further. She says she was told that the family would mistreat Sheena, be mean to her, threaten her to be homeless, and force her to give money. And the dad says, and I could see on the dad's face that he said, the hell this girl got me into. You know, when you just look at a parent and you can see that they're like, what has my child done? What the hell has my child done?
What's my child been saying? Like,
the dad answered the question. He said no, and immediately looked to his child and said, did you tell her those things? And Sheena didn't answer. She was just, and the dad looked at the sister, and the sister looked at Sheena and said, did you tell them those things? Not a single fucking tear coming out the bitch eye. But you would think that a 4-year-old was crying, fell down off of the bike, scraped their knee, got back.
Okay, just as dramatic.
You would have thought that somebody pushed Sheena in the sandbox, took her toys, and then poured water on her. You would have thought that somebody did something awful to this woman. She was crying as if her whole life came to an end. And I'm just saying, I didn't see a fucking tear. And I hollered because she's like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And Molly said, well, Sheena, why do you lie so much? I
said, Molly, you ain't shit. You really ain't. You ain't got to kick that girl when she down. Like, damn.
No, that's when you lie about, that's my biggest pet peeve. My husband will tell y'all, that is my biggest fucking pet peeve. Yeah. If you have been cussed out by me, it's because, not just because you lied, but you lied about some stupid shit that you really didn't need to lie about.
Right.
And that's exactly what Molly did. Or not Molly, that's what Sheena did.
That's what Sheena did, yeah.
Why, in the words of Jocelyn Ho, why is you crying? I'm trying to understand.
Me too.
I'm trying to understand, but it gets worse because, you know, Molly asked her why she lies so much. And Sheena replied, she said, you know, I lied because I struggle to save money. And, you know, I know I need the visa and I just struggle to save. And I'm scared I'm going to lose Forrest because things are good. I'm like, so you told a lie to a man you hope to be with and marry on and about your family because you were afraid to lose him?
See, this is my theory. I don't think that Sheena ever thought there would become a day where Forrest and the parents met. I don't think she ever thought that day would come. I thought, to me, my theory was, I think she thought she was going to get to the U.S. first.
We got to get live that lie because there's photos proving that Forrest has met her parents before. So I'm so like, that's what makes it difficult with the information we know today and the information we see on the show. I'm still confused on why and what she lied about. And then if we remove what we know about, you know, her meeting Forrest before and the family meeting Forrest before, and let's say it really was what the show presented to us, I am still confused on her reason for lying. So I think we can kind of both agree that her reason that she listed was somewhat bullshit. I'm sure that was
of course. No, yeah. Yeah, no, of course.
I'm just like, Sheena, girl, you're not fooling nobody. And the worst type of a liar is one that she lied on her father, her mother, her sister, her family business, her culture. Like, this is not just a dumb Emma lie where it's like, oh yeah, I was talking to someone else when I start talking to you. That's like, okay, we could get past that, whatever.
No, this lie is,
you've lied on things that generally even the worst liars will protect their own families from. Like, think of it this way. You hear crazy stories on true crime documentaries, right? about all types of sick people.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of times them sick people have like a family member or somebody that they won't act so sick with. Like, so the fact that she would still lie on her family, I'm just like, something's not clicking. Something is off with this chick. And the way she cries on command when needed to get out of shit is ridiculous.
It's like a
But
petulant child that know they ate the last cookie and they weren't supposed to. Like it
right,
literally, it's very peculiar because this is a woman in her 40s. So this is very peculiar behavior. On top of the fact that I was with Molly, what else can you be lying about?
preach.
Because to
It's
me, like if I
weird.
didn't know any better and if I didn't know the backstory, I would have thought Sheena's parents were millionaires.
Honestly, I feel exactly the same based on just the property that they have, the business that they have come up with. I would feel the exact same. I really would.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't make sense.
No.
It's either a fake ass storyline or something's wrong with this lady in the head, or a combination of both. If we being honest.
I think something is definitely wrong with her. She gives very sheltered, very like there's something convoluted going on with her. Like it's very like centered, and I just don't understand it. It's like okay, maybe she hasn't had a lot of life experience, but then you're a veterinarian, so it doesn't make sense. Hell, is she lying about that too?
If she grew up with a family that runs a business, I'm pretty sure, especially with Filipino culture, that she understands business and interacting. I think this lady just lies for entertainment, honestly. I feel like she might be bored or something in her life. I really do.
Because I feel like honey, is you pulling the 8.5 saying you an anesthesiologist but really a nurse anesthetist, or are you a veterinarian assistant and you really don't pull the money like you said? I don't know. Something just ain't right with this lady.
Oh yeah, that field that 8.5 was talking about in the state of California doesn't exist anymore. You either are in it or you're not. Or
No, I
this.
know. I know.
Uh,
But I'm just saying. That's what I say. I brought up her to say that's how I felt because it's like, okay, if you gonna lie about the money and you giving it to your parents and that they are treating you like a secondhand Cinderella, then I need to understand what else could you be lying about. And the next thing I'm gonna go to is your career path. Are you telling the truth? Have we seen Sheena at work?
Child, that's actually a good point. That's actually a good point.
Yeah. So yeah,
We have seen Sheena at work once, but I need more.
I need more
But
now. Yep.
Forrest, after Sheena's crying and all of that, Forrest asked the family to give Sheena back her money. And he pretty much is like, well, what's going on? Because you took some money from her. And the dad is like, yes, I did. We have borrowed money from her, but the intention is to pay her back. And honestly, y'all, her family, when I lend money to my family, I don't have the expectation to be paid back. Honestly, the only people in my family paying each other back as quiet as it's kept is me and my siblings. And that's just because we're all kind of in age groups where we need our money. Okay. And it's never like, if anybody in my family is lending someone like more than $300, then usually they'll be like, I would like to be paid back. They'll make it clear. But if it's under that, nobody's doing that and checking for it. And I felt like her family was just doing this because knowing the culture a little bit, I know the parents are probably proud, but also embarrassed by the fact that their child would lie. And I felt like the dad was like, yes, I'll pay her back. But it's like, if she gave that money and gifted it to you and she's living here and, you know, all of this so that she can work this great job and just spend, like, I don't feel like her parents should have to pay her back. I just don't. I just don't. Like, especially if we don't know we don't understand or know the arrangement, and we'll never know because someone is lying.
Right.
But I'm gonna say family is family. They shouldn't have to pay her back. But the family was willing. They were like, we might be able to give her 4,000 if she needed some of the money back. And her dad, though he was very respectful, I like the dad because he was like, you know, I have no problem doing this. I would never mistreat my child. But why is Forrest asking for money instead of providing for my daughter? And when I said to the dad, yes, yes, sir,
Absolutely.
ask the questions, the people that say it louder for the people in the back.
Say it louder for Molly because she obviously didn't hear you.
Okay. Say it louder because I'm looking at that like, I know this. I got married at 19 years old. My husband was 21. If he could carry a job and pay for a ring and provide an apartment and all of that at 21 working at McDonald's as quiet as it's kept where he was working at the time? Like, Forrest, what are you doing? How you want to marry somebody but you don't want to take care of them? I don't understand that. But you know what?
Well, it's probably Molly in his ear saying that now things are 50-50. So if you bring 50% to the table, she gotta bring 50% to the table. I'm like, listen at this. This man live in a double wide where the space rent is probably only $150 where he is. I don't want to hear that.
I'm getting tired. James not gonna let him live down that double wide. He
No,
done.
because here's the thing. I don't like when people do this. I don't like when people are judgmental and worried about somebody else's pocket when they need to be focusing on their own pockets. There's nothing wrong with how Forrest lives. And if he chooses to live in the double wide with the $150 space rent, that is on him. I'm not saying that that's a wrong way to live. A lot of people, that's the best some people can do. But what it's rooted in is the fact that he's not working. He's in his 30s. There is no
He's not doing
prospect on
anything.
career. Yeah, there's
It
no
doesn't
prospect
look
on
like
career.
it doesn't look like Forrest is doing anything, honestly, from what Molly described of him and what he described. It doesn't look like he's doing anything with his time on disability to improve at all. It doesn't look like he's trying to get therapy, see ABA. It doesn't look like he's doing anything to make it to where he can work. It looks like he's wasting his fucking life on the internet chasing after bitches across the world. Because prior to Sheena, there was a girl in Indonesia. And prior to her, word on the curb is there was another one as well. So,
Oh, really?
yes, do something for us. I tell you,
Oh, so he makes this a habit to
it
intentionally
seems
get
like
women
it.
across the country.
I
Okay.
don't see how you could be 30. I actually have people who work with me. I have colleagues who are autistic with ADHD,
Mm-hmm.
who are Forrest's age and younger, and they are working a job in clinical social work. So his diagnosis is not something that's stopping him from doing stuff. I think he's just a lazy son of a bitch, and his mama probably didn't mean to make him that way, but I feel like she probably coddled Forrest because of all of the developmental issues that he has, and this is the result. But yeah, y'all, we gonna move forward to the next couple, which is Lisa and Daniel. Get ready, James. Welcome in to everybody who's here. We do appreciate you for watching. We have a new joint channel. If you search Watch Yo B3ST Friends on YouTube, you will find it. Give us a subscription, subscribe. We appreciate you. Lisa and Daniel, I can't. This is another person whose information off of the internet has just been a lot. Okay,
I'm
when I
trying to
tell
tell
y'all,
you.
before this live, I was watching a video posted on Instagram. I'm going to find the name of the page and start shouting out all of these Instagrammers, bloggers, fellow YouTubers, big and small, because I appreciate y'all for doing the work, because I ain't got the patience to do hot topics and shit. That's why it's on James' channel. But I seen a video of Lisa in a tent with 7 dogs, 4 cats, and I think I could be getting the number wrong, but it was at least 11 live mammals in that tent. And it looked like it was a tent in the sticks of Georgia or PA. If you've been to those areas or watched something on television, you know they got sticks, areas that people don't live in, but you know the homeless like to find their way. Apparently, Lisa was an unhoused person and a part of the homeless population. I don't know the reason why, but I'm seeing videos on the internet of this lady living in a tent with her ex-wife. They had nothing. When I say it looked like they had it set up, the tent got flooded. She had all these animals. Lisa's history is interesting. We've also seen the post of Lisa's blood sister, her biological sister, who is her only living family member left, who has stated, or I'm not sure, it might be her adopted sister, because I know she says she was adopted. Nonetheless, her sister is saying that Lisa is a habitual liar, lies to family members, lied to their mother while she was dying. Lisa lies and does things for relationships and people. It's been alleged that Lisa's hair is short, not because an ex-girlfriend or wife wanted her to cut it, but allegedly Lisa's hair is short because she shaved her head and pretended to be a cancer patient in order to get and receive social services that are for the homeless population.
We have to say allegedly because this is YouTube.
I know I've said allegedly a million times, but alleged or not, that is fucking horrible. I work with the homeless population. While some, don't want the help and do decline services, a lot of them that do want help cannot get services because of people like Lisa, allegedly. So Lisa, this is a lot. Her sister is saying these things on the internet. I'll try and post the link later tonight after James is live, but I just felt like we have to acknowledge that because I've been thinking there's something off with Lisa this whole time. When you hear that someone has had, 4 or 5 marriages, is getting a divorce, is engaged to a man across the world in a country that's known for scams before she's fully divorced, and now she's switching back to dick after taking a sabbatical from it for 21 years. That's a red flag. If you're truly bisexual and go both ways, I feel like there'll be a lot.
There would be stronger evidence of that. There would be stronger evidence of the fact, but the fact that you've only been with women for the last 21 years and there was not a man in between those 21 years, I feel like, yeah, this is something, to me, this is an ego trip. This is something where you need to feel validated in another way, and you're selfish. You're being selfish and you're being intentional with leading someone on who I feel like is probably using you for his own selfish reasons.
Lisa is, I feel like she's one of those women and people who wants to be accepted. So I feel like she'll date whoever shows interest. No shade to her. I don't see too many men showing interest based on how she presents herself. I'm just giving my honest opinion. The women that she's dated aligns with a certain stereotype and stigma, but she kind of gives me someone who, if she dates men, she'll only date them because they're entertaining her. And I find it interesting that the last man that she was with, who she had her kid with, she was like, he was more like my friend. Like, it's giving that she's ashamed that she's a lesbian. And I'm going to get into that more throughout this live, but it's given that she's ashamed to be a lesbian. And there are a lot of people in the LGBTQ community who will claim that they are bisexual because they feel ashamed to say that they are fully gay or strictly dickly or strictly coochie, whatever the hell.
So let me ask you a question, because that's a very interesting, and I agree with you with the shame part. Do you think she's into Daniel?
Physically, no. I think that she thinks he's attractive because that man is cute. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, definitely. Yes.
But she had a lot of complaints after her and Daniel were intimate the first time. She was trying to tell him to kind of slow down, take his time, give her a moment to get excited. Then she got excited and she says her juices was flowing and there was still something missing. And in my head, I was like, let me tell you this. If I ain't had no dick in a minute and then I get some dick, even if it's some bad dick, I'm just happy I got some dick. Unless you don't like dick. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to scratch that itch if it's not what you really, truly desire, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and I tell you, and the reason why I asked that question, because I hate to see someone who is aesthetically my type always get in positions with people like this who don't even physically, because I agree with you. I don't think she's physically into him as well. I think that there's things about him that she likes, but I don't think... Yeah, I think I agree. I think it's the idea of him and the idea of being on TV and the idea of, the fact that there's no obligation really to, fathom this. This is kind of one of those things where it could be here today and gone tomorrow. At least she got her camera time. That's how I feel, because she was performing.
Her sister also alleged in that post about her being on the show and how she announced to people. Her sister kind of alleged something like what you said as well, which I believe you're probably reading her correctly.
Yeah, because everything gave performative in this episode. I know you'll get to all the other things, but everything felt like a performance. And for me, and the reason why I'm looking at Daniel's side eye and why I believe this is your ticket to get to the US, because you don't give a fuck one way or the other. And to be honest, I don't feel like his family gave a fuck either. So
yeah, because I'm gonna tell y'all this. I have lots of friends in the African community, lived with Africans who were literally being sponsored from Nigeria as well as Ghana. I'm Esso also, but I'm pretty familiar with the culture. Yes, the cultural traditions we're going to discuss coming up are legitimate things, but at the same time, not every Nigerian is as strict as Daniel tried to perceive them to be as it relates to
Mm-hmm.
traditions and things like that. Them people over there, a lot of them love America, want to come over, things like that. So if you want to come to a culture, usually you're
Yeah,
going
because
to acknowledge other parts of it. Like, I don't like how Daniel is trying to portray it. But all of this is necessary before we discuss Lisa, because there's been a lot. I would say of everyone on this cast, I think the
oh
more
yeah,
Lisa, like, it keeps coming.
it keeps coming, y'all. When I tell you, I get DMs about her. Mrs. Best gets DMs about her. It's like, y'all, we get it. This lady full of shit, but y'all be pulling out shit from literally 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago. It's like, damn, is there it? Like, I'm just waiting on a mugshot to pop up. That's all. That's all I need at this
Waiting
point.
on it too. I'm, but honestly, maybe that's her fucking karma. Because if she really did shave her head and pretend to have cancer to get a service that she could have gotten without shaving her head, no. Like, I'm looking at Lisa with a side eye, but she wrapping up in the traditional African head wrap as well as the cloth, and she is preparing to meet Daniel's uncle. Daniel's father is sick, and Daniel says an Igbo tradition that they need to get a blessing for the marriage. So she can't figure out how to wrap her head, and Daniel's looking at her like, you didn't get it from the lady? You mean the bitch who called her fat and says she ain't got enough cloth? I mean, I would have lost focus too. But separate from that, Lisa did actually have a good point. She's like, the lady was just doing it for me. I could not see. And I actually had to take classes as a little girl learning how to wrap my head and do these head wraps and things of that nature. I was actually bullied in school for wearing them, which is odd, but that was the 90s and things have changed. But it's not easy. I remember struggling to learn it, struggling. So you can't expect Lisa to learn this after one time. And Lisa looked like, no shade, Lisa looked like she might have been high a few times in her life, drank a lot, had some parties. She looked like that vape juice liquid might have gone to some of her brain cells. It looked like Lisa might need a little second before she could grasp concepts of any sort, let alone how to
I
put on
think
the
it would have
pigtails.
been easier if she would have took off the fucking wig. I think it would have been easier if you would have just did that versus struggling with your hair because it's not yours. First of all, you have a helmet full of hair underneath that, and then you have this big ass fucking wig on top of that.
I'm gonna say this: it's practice because the African women love wigs too, and they'll put a wrap over them too.
But
Lisa just
this is a lily white lady. This ain't according to her Native American with part Irish, but we'll get to that in a minute.
white people love to do that. If you white and you talk about you Native American part Irish, understand your ancestor probably essayed the Native American. Okay,
That ain't funny,
I said
but
what I
damn.
said. Y'all don't like it? Okay, go up to the Lincoln Memorial, get your ass to DC, take it up with your representatives. I didn't write history, I just took it and I got an A. Hey, what can I say? But it's the truth. It's the truth. I hate when the colorless say stuff like that. Well, I'm Irish, African American, and part Alaskan Eskimo. Do you know what your grandpappy might have done for you to end up that way? But I digress, y'all. But she couldn't figure out this head wrap. She couldn't figure it out. And Daniel ends up doing it for her, which irritated me because I'm like, bro, she saw it once, and you just said yourself, the only reason you know how to do it is because you saw your mom and family members do it so many times growing up. So don't you think if it took you your whole fucking childhood to see it, to learn it, that it might take her more than one try? But okay, Daniel, y'all scamming each other, so I'm gonna let it go, allegedly. Mm-hmm. Now, because Lisa seemed like the type of bitch that'll come up on here and try to sue me. I ain't got shit, Lisa. I ain't got shit. I'm telling you right now, everything I say is alleged. In the words of Tasha K, even my name is alleged at this point. Okay, don't come on here, lady, because she look like she looking to sue anybody who talk about her. She do. But Daniel's talking to Lisa, preparing him, and he's like, you're gonna have to give the wine, you're gonna have to kneel before my uncle. I said, you making her kneel? Listen, I am African. I'm not fucking kneeling to meet nobody's in-laws. Nobody's. I promise you that. But she's learning about all these things, and Daniel's like, she's like, what do I do if he asks me about this? And Daniel's like, well, just be honest. Be honest. She's like, well, your version of honest and my version of honest might be different, because I'm an American. My husband's laughing now. And I said to myself, I know you fucking lying. This white lady, that is the stupidest shit. Let me explain something to you. If I tell a lie to you in English, it's a lie. If I tell a lie to you in Espanol, it's a lie. If I tell a lie to you in Italiano, I've told a lie. If I lie to you in Farsi, Finnish, Chinese, Mandarin, Japanese, I've told you a lie. If I tell a lie in Pig Latin, it's still a fucking lie, Lisa. A lie is a lie, baby. Just like a spade is a spade, and that's a wig on your head. Okay?
This is how I know Daniel is bullshitting and he don't give a fuck what this lady come with. He got angry, but he still sat in that seat.
He did.
He still sat in that seat. This is how I know Daniel full of shit. This is how I know Daniel. Yeah, like to me, y'all. I know y'all mad at me for getting on him like this, but at the end of the day,
we're not.
I see bullshit when I see bullshit. I'm sorry, I see bullshit. There are so many holes with this man, this story, this lady, her story. And what I'm clocking is that for me, him and his culture that he's so divine in, the fact that he's 39 and has not been married, has no kids, is the biggest red flag to me of all things. Because in my understanding of that culture, they marry quite early and bear children very early. Mm-hmm. A lot of the time.
He had a plan. He has a plan because he should be married. But Lisa had us fucked up with that. She really irritated me with that. And even Daniel looked at her and said, a lie is a lie. And you know, the whole time, all I could think is, you know what? She's a crook. He's a crook. They're going to be crooks together. Allegedly.
All right, Daniel. Well, I mean, I hope you like living in tents with buckets and cats and dogs and shit. And her wig sitting on, you know, the door handle of the car.
Something is wrong. Not the door handle. She do look like a bitch that'll put her wig on the door handle. Or set it next to her on the nightstand.
On the nightstand, that little hook, yep.
Mm-hmm. Right. Wake up the next day. I set it on the nightstand. The wig been attacked by the cat. Because if she still got the pets. Because I keep my hair up out the way. I have a pet cat. I keep that shit away. Because I just can't release it.
Okay, some cats will play football with it. I'm telling you.
Be having a whole time pretending like the damn weave is a damn animal in the jungle to be hunted. Okay, getting the zoomies. No. But Lisa, this is a mess. It's just a mess. They get to the uncle, and I hollered because the whole thing. Uncle in the hell.
Me too. I'm right there behind you.
I post the shoulder cover. Oh, Jesus. I really be trying to watch my mouth on the internet, y'all. I really do, because my husband and James will tell y'all, like, outside of the internet, my mouth is horrible. Y'all would have been canceled me. And I'm trying to be diplomatic there.
Oh, you 47 minutes into it. Just go ahead and go for it. At this point, they ain't watching you.
I cannot with Lisa. So why was she staring that man at his face? She looked like the crackheads, no shade, that I see driving down the Tenderloin in San Francisco. Y'all who are not from the West Coast, compare the Tenderloin in San Francisco to Kensington and Philadelphia. She looked like the crackheads that just stare at you when you offer them services doing your field work. Social workers, y'all get me. She was...
I'm sorry. It was not only her looking at him, it was him looking at her and then looking at Daniel and looking back at her and then
looking like Simon Gobadia's distant shady cousin.
Right. I said, you know what? He's like, I see what you're doing, but I don't see what you're doing. You couldn't have found somebody.
The uncle was holding.
You are not an Igbo woman. Well, that's obvious. I mean, what the?
No, I think he knew she wasn't an Igbo woman. I don't think the uncle knew that this was the white lady he was getting. I think uncle thought that he was getting like Steve Irwin's wife, like down to earth, younger, like
cute, very petite, like, young, somebody that can actually have children with him to carry on his legacy.
This lady came in there, and I'm not even being mean because Lisa looks her age. But a woman that looks her age dating a man like Daniel, she looked like his auntie or something. I'm keeping it real.
No, and it looks like one of them. and I'm gonna say allegedly because what I'm about to say is about to be really fucked up. No, it looks like one of them stories you hear about foster moms end up getting with the foster children they raise. Like those one of those stories. That's what that looks like to me. I'm sorry. I'm not saying auntie and uncle. That looks like that shit to me. And I've read those stories, and y'all people ought to be a fucking ashamed of yourselves.
All I know is Lisa addressed the uncle like royalty, which confused me. It was funny as hell the whole time. She said, "Yes, uncle. I'm a Christian. I've not always been a good Christian, but I'm a Christian." I was like,
you can never get on me about imitating Cedric and Marie's voice ever again because you were spot fucking on. Not you sound just like her.
She was sitting there like this though.
I mean, didn't break a movement.
And she kept looking at him, didn't smile or nothing. And I think the uncle at some point, like he wanted his questions, but I could tell he was like, "What's wrong with this bitch?" But I was hollering. So the next thing we hear is Lisa responding. She's like, "And I want you to know, I take care of my household. I also send money to Daniel. I take care of his household too." I'm like, do you realize what's coming out of your mouth? As a woman, I'm sorry to Tony Herbert. I'm sorry. I'll be goddamned if I would have been expected to go to my father-in-law and be like, "I'm taking care of me and I'm taking care of your son's household." I'm sorry. I would have to tell him respectfully, "Sir, you and your son can go to hell." It just did not feel right to me. And even in African culture where the men believes they should be the provider, I'm like, why are you telling him you providing for this man when he should be providing for you? I'm looking at that like,
makes me once again question how well is Daniel versed into his, morals and values and traditions, because to me it seemed like he's very far off from it.
He's very far away from it. He's very far off. And I'm glad James brought that up because I'm like, that's crazy that you as a woman are coming to tell a man that you gonna take care of another grown ass man. I can't, Lisa, but we gonna continue. So it continues to get a little bad because then the uncle is like, "I want to know your views on lesbianism because we do not do that in our culture." I'll speak for African culture. Now, yes, it is frowned upon, but there are some people who are of that culture who are a part of LGBTQ community. This is why a lot of them choose to keep it to themselves or stay in the closet. But the way that he asked her, he was like, "In no disrespect, but we're not okay with that in our culture." He still tried to be respectful, but it's like, Daniel, you've told her this, she knew this. I didn't understand why Lisa was caught off guard by the uncle asking about it when Daniel has been telling her that the culture is against it. But Lisa had me hollering. "Yes, uncle, I have been with the women in the past. I have been with women in the past."
It was the fact
that no more. And she said, "No, I am not with women in the past." It doesn't just go away. Well,
first of all, it wasn't a one-time thing like Daniel said, which I don't know why y'all lied to him. Y'all could have just said she's been with women for 21 years like she has. But of course, Daniel don't know that because why? Lisa lies. Lisa lies.
Said at the end of this stuff, she's like, "I had to lie and I just feel awful." Bitch, you don't feel that bad.
No, you don't.
Another thing, I may not be a lesbian or gay or bisexual. I married a man. I'm very happy with it. But one thing I don't respect is someone who is a part of that community compromising both your integrity and your fucking sexuality just to be accepted.
And then for you to get in your confessional to say, "I'm not ashamed of who I am," obviously you are.
You are ashamed.
Obviously you are. If you couldn't be honest about that, regardless of what his traditionals and value is, it's obvious this man don't give a fuck about that because he would have left you when you said you was with the one woman. So to me, you're full of shit. And like Mrs. Best said, I also have been with women and men. It's very much, I started out with women, turned 27, started dating men. It wasn't something I was ever suppressing. It wasn't something that I felt like I needed. No, it just, I went the other side. Now, if I decide to go back to women, I'm never going to not acknowledge that I'm not attracted to men anymore. That's going to be a fucking lie. I'm going to say, yes, I am attracted to both. If I do go back to women, whoever I end up with is going to have to accept that. If she can't, then you ain't the woman for me.
That's
It's that
honestly
simple.
the opinion that a lot of people LGBTQIA all need to understand. You want
Yes.
us to give you respect, but you're also expected to give the respect that you want to receive. And in that respect is just like what James said. If you transgender, you need to tell the person you're dating that you are if they're not.
Yes.
They have a right to know. If you are HIV positive, you need to tell the person. It's the same type of thing. You have to let people know so they have the right to make an informed decision. They just do. So I'm looking at Lisa and I'm kind of like, you're really opening up room for a community that's already dealing with a lot to further be attacked and scrutinized by your ignorant ass behavior. I hope you and your wig figure it out. And I'm mad as hell at the preview for next week because it showed that this wig done stuck to her head in all sorts of way. And when all I seen in that clip when she came up to Daniel with her natural hair, he said, "Why are you like this?"
You didn't remember she had a wig on?
I know, but I'm like, the fact that he looked at her crazy, like, "Why are you like this?" I said, God help me. When I take my hair out, when I take my braids, my weave, whatever it is out, my husband ain't never looked at me and been like, "Why are you like this?" Listen, these people, I'm going to just move on. Jovan and Anna.
Hot mess express number 2.
Yep. He right.
This is another couple. I'm like, okay, get them off my
James
screen.
been over Jovan and Anna since it came out that he was talking to someone else, and I have been too. He's mad. So basically, Anna is mad, and she's problematic too. Anna Lynn is mad that Jovan is talking to her sister when she's upset with him. And I kind of am with Anna. She's like, the sister is my family too. We're married. I would rather talk to my mother-in-law when I have an issue with my husband than I would my friends. Because my friends would be like, yeah, fuck that nigga. We could slash his tires. But my mother-in-law will actually be like, well, what do you want? How do you feel? That's not okay. Have you tried this? And not take sides. Like, you got to. So I kind of respect Anna for talking to his sister versus going and trashing him to her family who may not take her side, or going and trashing him to her friends. Because that's where a lot of people mess up in their relationships and they don't see it. They don't see it because the people who love you, they're going to get mad if they hear that someone's mistreating you. It's just
right.
But, you know, they end up making peace. Even though it's not real peace, because Anna made a good point. She's like, so you don't want me to talk to your sister, but it's cool for you to be talking about our relationship to random bitches that you used to be involved with. I said, clock it, Anna. Clock it. You real smart. If you would just listen to your gut, you could probably find a way cuter American nigga with more money.
Absolutely.
As quiet as it's kept, his broke ass. Anywho, they end up going on an activity, Anna and Jovan. They do like this water bike thing that looked pretty cute. It looked fun, but he's tall as hell, so I guess he struggled with it. I was happy to see his struggle though, because I don't like how he's been moving. But this is the one moment in the entire show that we have seen these two not in an argument. And that to me says they need to divorce, and I hope it happens quick. But they go to, you know, sit down after the activity, and she wants to resolve the issue of him talking to other women. So what she ends up doing is asking to look at his phone. And I was like, baby girl, you should have done that as soon as he got off the plane. Okay? You should have done that as soon as he got off the plane. You need some more American friends, preferably Black women, Anna, because we would have steered you right, baby. You should have checked that phone as soon as he got off the plane. The first night before he hit it. I don't understand why these women... James, they've been married for how many years?
3.
Each other, and there's already been problems with him talking to other people. I want to see the plane before we leave this fucking airport, because you might need a turnaround ticket. You just might, sir.
This is my problem with her in the whole, is that you are right. There is like this desperate desire to want to make this work from her side, that she's ignoring the red flags that he comes with. And I think that that's just, it goes to show you in their culture how much they're supposed to, once they cross that line, they're supposed to stay over it no matter what. And I'm from the era where I'm here to give it the college effort. I'm here to give a marriage a college effort, which means that you're going to do all the studying, all the exams, all the everything, and get your best on to make it to your first next level. If the shit don't work, it don't work. After I done tried everything, it don't work, move on. He didn't gave you red flag. You had heifers on the side. You didn't had the sister tell you, look, ain't nothing I can do for you, but you gotta stop calling me while I'm on my good job. Trying to complain about this. You have him complaining to other women about you. He did his job. He worked 14 hours a day, making God knows how much minimum wage is in Alabama, not being able to come see you often. And you're his wife, not coming up with a plan to get you out here to the States so you can then be with him. So there's a lot of unmotivated terms here. And I just wish he would, yes, lean into the more where you really don't need him if you think about it, but you're not going to think about it.
Yeah, because Anna has a degree in communications. It's useless in the US, but I'm sure she could do something with it where she's, but she has a degree where she's at. It sounds like she had a job, she was doing well, and she gave that up to, for her husband. What I see with this couple, without going over like everything with them, is her making more sacrifice than him, and the sacrifice should be 50-50. Or at the very least take turns doing sacrifices. But she checks the phone and doesn't find anything. She also tells us one of the reasons she wanted to check the phone is because Jovan has a bad habit of watching masculinity podcasts that encourage men who provide to cheat, and says that basically it's okay for them to cheat if they're providing for their women. It doesn't surprise me that Jovan, who lives in Alabama and is from Alabama, would be watching
places.
Like that. My whole family on my dad's side is from the Deep South. Shout out to New Orleans, Monroe, Kenner. Shout out to all of y'all. I also have family in Biloxi and friends in Mississippi. Here's the thing. Unfortunately, it is a lot of men down there think that way, and the wives do too. It doesn't surprise me. I don't think a man watching podcast is always a red flag. My husband used to enjoy that Kevin Samuels podcast. He is now deceased. But he's like opposite of everything that they would discuss in it, but he enjoyed watching it. So that's not always a telltale sign. What it's giving is that Anna's looked at this podcast and Jovan's probably behaving in ways that are on it, which I can see when he explains certain things. But after she looks at the phone and all of that happens, they go to have a Filipino dessert called halo halo, which is a bunch of sweet things mixed in with milk and all of this. And he's weirded out because he's like, there's cheese and corn and all this stuff. And it's likely cream cheese and, other types of things. But he has the dessert. He's uncomfortable with the flavors. He's from Alabama. He's probably not used to too many different cuisines. Let's just keep it a buck. But he's complaining about the lack of flavors and being uncomfortable with everything. And he ends up trying the food, says it's okay, but he's talking to Anna and she's still like, I wish I could have more romance from you, because she wanted him to carry her or give her a kiss and do pictures and all of this. And he's just not the most affectionate, which I have noticed. Seemed like he just want to get in her drawers, do an activity and be left alone. But she complains about this and he's like, I work 15 hours a day. And I wish Anna would have been like, I know, but you're not at work right now. But he claims he doesn't always have the energy to be romantic or make her feel like a lady. Let me tell you this. Jovan is lazy, and I wish Anna would acknowledge the red flags. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. He responds to her when she's complaining. He's like, well, maybe I'm just a bad husband. Negro, what? And you just okay with it? And sir, my husband used to work at Tesla and work just as many hours and then have to add time on to travel. He still made time to tell me I'm pretty, smack of the butt, give me attention, try to go out. That man will be tired off no sleep while working at his previous job and would still take me on a date. So, sir, stop. If you really like somebody, you'll find a way and you'll find time. That's why I tell all my friends when they dating, all my people I love, I truly believe that if someone really likes you, it's not even about love. There's nothing they won't do to be around you.
Yep.
It's just the truth. But that's pretty much all that happened with these two. I'm getting sick of them. How you feel about that?
And me both. I'm getting sick of them as well, just because I feel like, Jovan, what the fuck was the point of you coming out there then? You ain't never met this lady. You have not seen her. You're her husband. You need to be treating this like the first year of marriage, technically on day one. That's how I see it. To me, you too much in your trenches. And what I mean by trenches, y'all go and watch Love and Marriage Huntsville and look at the Scott brothers.
Oh, Lord.
That's not affection, even though they claim to be. I
Alabama
don't.
too. Maybe it's
Yeah,
just that state.
I don't know if it's just that state, but a lot of the men think like this, and I just don't understand it. Like when I look at them, and I'm like, y'all prospect of how y'all treat women. Are y'all sure y'all like women? Like, I'm just saying, to me, I never understood men who have feel like they need to assert some type of pressure dominance over women where they don't have to nurture them and that women are just supposed to be, a bed mattress and a mule for them. I just don't understand that logic. I'm like, you would think if you want a woman to be nice to you, to be sweet to you, that you return that favor and butter them up and, make them feel special, make them do. I never understood men who don't have that logic. Because then that makes me think if you're a man complaining about, because I knew a guy, um, he used to complain about that shit. He's like, she wants me to do this, she wants me to do. Why do women always want to do that? And I comment on the post, well, then why don't you try men? And everyone got in my face about it on that Instagram post. I'm like, no, he's complaining about the simplest things you can do for a woman. Try men. That's going to be my thing with men who act like this. I'm gonna say, why don't you just try men? It might be better for you. Because obviously you don't give a fuck about women, so try men.
I think in order to try men, you have to have the desire and attraction for men. Unfortunately, with heterosexual men, some of them just really just
in this day and age, honey, that is becoming further and further of a,
for
of
people
ambiance.
who are truly heterosexual, there is no
These kids nowadays don't even care no more.
A lot of them do. And I think a lot of people ignore this message. If you are truly heterosexual, there is no let me just try a woman if you're a woman, or let me just try men if I'm a man. That's something someone's suppressing. And some truly straight men just don't know how to act in relationship the same way that people in same-sex relationships sometimes come across people who truly only date one gender and they act the fool. So I don't even think trying anything different. I think some people just suck. And I feel like, no shade to Jovan, he's one of them. He has these ignorant, toxic masculinity type ideologies about relationships and dating. And if he took a moment to look at it, he doesn't even align with the shit that he's trying to follow. Because if you can't provide in a way without not ignoring your wife, then maybe you're just doing it wrong, sir. But he gonna look to her to be the problem instead of him, because that's what men like him do. Laura and Birkan. She was mad he left her alone in a hut making glass. And the reason he got mad and left the hut is because he don't like Michael. But I believe that the only reason Birkan, after watching this episode, does not like Michael is because Michael is in the way of keeping Laura from falling into the delusion of getting a man after a long time. Let's just call a spade a spade. Michael is in the way because Michael is James to Laura. Michael is going to be in her ear like, I'm going to support you. I'll meet him, but, you might need to make a change. Michael is me to James. Okay? I'll smile in front of your loved one's face and play nice with them, but in the background, was I not telling you my true opinion?
Absolutely.
It
was a constant. Let me tell you, it was a constant opinion. And you know what? I probably did what Laura did, which was, I need to see this through. I get what you're saying, but it's only me and him in the relationship. I cannot just fathom off of that. I'm just letting you know of how I feel, just to make sure, one, I'm not crazy, but then two, that this is where I need to be in this given moment.
I hope Laura is doing that. I feel like she might be doing that because she does give me someone who has intelligence up there. But that is definitely what you should do, in my opinion. People like to be rude to spouses, their friends, or loved ones state that they don't like, and that's the wrong thing. Smile, be polite, make them feel welcome. And if you see a red flag, tell your person in
absolutely
don't
no,
go
absolutely
cussing them out and pulling Mama Joyce's and Mama Dots. Don't
because
do
a
that.
lot of us, to be real with you, a lot of us can't really go to our parents for this kind of thing. Like I know for me, my father's no longer here, but I can't go to my mom and really express because my mom already don't want me with that person in the first place. So going to that is just going to egg her on to her belief system. and just prove, because if I followed my mom, I would never have a man. So that's why I say
a lot of people need to hear that and follow that, because they be trying to follow their parents, so you got to do your own
you guys, please don't do that. Like, honestly,
even if your parents been married for 50
they may
years,
mean well. Yes,
do
they
your
may
own thing.
do your own thing, because parents lived in a different time with different standards and different rules and people. We live in a completely different system. So how my mom thinks, I don't think that she's come over to the other side. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, my ex really didn't do anything wrong per se. Like, he was everything that I needed him to be. I just wish he did a little more. My mom was like, "Oh, he ain't shit. This and this and this and that." And it was just like, no, it's not that at all. Like, and I would only tell, and I didn't even tell my mom anything. She was just like, he just don't seem like he into you. Like, he just don't seem. I'm like, but he's not going to show you that. Like, why would he show you that he's into me? Like, what does he need to show you?
Are going to not be extra coupley.
Right.
My husband's very affectionate physically, but let me tell y'all, at Christmas, a couple months back,
he wasn't really that affectionate when y'all were here.
There was no ass smacks and
right.
And none of that. It was very polite. I'm just here, you know. So nobody's gonna do that in front of family. But Laura, this episode stressed me out. Laura meets Beer Khan's friends after they have this fight, and he translates. Laura, I don't know why you didn't open your phone and open up Duolingo, Apple, your translation app. If you have Apple, Google Translate is available for everybody. Girl, if you didn't open one of the free ways to know what the fuck was being spoken about.
Because I sure the fuck would have. I would have set my phone right there on Translate and looked down.
I know that cafe got Wi-Fi. That's an international thing, baby. And they serving shisha. They want people to sit there and have Wi-Fi. I would have been listening to everything, but Beer Khan is talking with his friends. He translates because nobody speaks English but Laura. And that was a red flag to me. And I wish Laura would have ran out of there when he was translating immediately. Mm-hmm. But his friends actually said nice things about her. They were concerned about the age, which anyone would because he's much younger. But they said Laura looks really good for her age. And I was like, okay, the friends were actually respectful, which I wish American friends would do. They just jump in and think that they the judge, jury, and do you know what I mean? Like, you see the difference in culture. Yes. What you gonna do for my friend? How much you make? What you do? When was your friends will really do too much?
Hey, they remember you got a kids. What's your situation with your baby mama? Y'all still fucking? Yeah.
Because that's me as a friend. Well, I'll do it in a more conversational factor because work kind of helped me to get answers in a little bit of a sneaky way. But because James tell you his ex loved me, but he knew I was getting the information I wanted.
Absolutely.
But, okay. Absolutely. But he felt like she's so nice. She's conversating, nigga. I'm
really, yeah, like I said, he thought like you were just the female version of him. Like how you are with me is how he is with his friends. So it was kind of like it was fun for him to see this. And I'm just like,
he don't even know I was grilling the hell out of him, but it texted Jay. Oh no.
There was a big I don't. There was a lot of months where it was I don't know.
I like people as people, but you could like someone as a person and not like them for your
and not like them for the relationship. Yeah,
and I'm very fair like that. But Beer Khan's friends seem to also be fair. Didn't mind it. They actually were more concerned about Laura in the way that Beer Khan should have been, and that they want Beer Khan to reveal the truth that he's been hiding from her. And it's crazy because she's talking to them and she's like, Beer Khan's a regular here. It seems like he just comes here every day and smokes shisha instead of like looking for jobs since he has, a bad debt situation and is unemployed. And I said, not he's given lazy corner boy. Beer Khan is those men on the street, outside on 88th and Plymouth, who outside all day always look clean cut though, and has some money for some weed or some from the stove, but you ain't never seen them go to a job. That's Beer Khan, the Turkish version. I swear to God, he is the Turkish version of a town nigga. And I'm not understanding. I'm not understanding it. But Laura's connecting the dots, and I was like, run, Laura, run. You're a teacher. Please
Was
run.
she really connecting the dots, or was
I
she
feel like
sitting
Laura
there?
sees it, but is ignoring it
I feel
because
like no, I think she doesn't have a quite grasp, and I think it's because of the language barrier. She doesn't have a quite grasp of what this is in American terms versus Turkish terms. I
the
think that
moment that those people stop translating as frequently, if I was her, I would have walked the fuck out of there. Like, y'all not going to be talking about stuff in front of me without telling.
yes,
That's
yes,
what she should have done. Because even with translating, that stuff looked weird. But the friend says to Laura, and Birkan's dumbass translates it, he has an unknown side to him. And then Birkan is like, wait, after he translates, he's like, why would you say that kind of to his friend? And his friend asked him if he could tell Laura, you know, what's going on. And this is where we learn that Birkan is a gambler, but not a regular gambler. He gambles every day. He does it for a living. And I always question people who say they gamble for a living when they have no job, because to gamble for a living, you have to have done something else for a living, because that money has to start from somewhere and you're not always going to win. So you need to replenish it. So this tells me he's not gambling online. He's not gambling legally and making sports bets. He's not in the casino. He's doing illegal gambling, which is very common in other parts of the world. So I'm looking at him like this could be bad. And that would also make sense as to why he doesn't feel it's an issue for him to move to another country and avoid his debt.
mm-hmm.
Probably because it's not a legitimate debt that would go on his credit score or credit report if he have that out there. But his friends pretty much lean into all our suspicions and say that they think that Birkan's gambling is an issue for him, and they compare it to an addiction. And they won't tell Laura what they're saying. And that's pretty much where their little segment ends. But how did you feel about it? Because I'm looking and I'm like, he don't work. He gambles every day. I think he has a problem, and you're not going to say nothing to this woman he wants to live with?
Yeah, it's given shade tree mechanic. The debt, I don't think is a credit debt. I think it's you running from somebody.
The mom.
And you trying to keep a low profile. So fleeing to the US will be your way out, because you know they're not finna travel way out there to come get your ass. So that's why I feel like that now that you put it in that terms, it does seem like that's probably why he wasn't really tripping like that. He goes, look, if I leave, it erases.
He's
so
like, I'm gone. Shit,
how they gonna find me? How they gonna find me? I ain't coming back. So yeah, how they gonna find me? So I do think that it could be something like that, first of all. And then also these friends, I feel like they don't know him long enough for them to really give a fair assessment, because they've only known him for 3 years. I feel like 3 years is not a long time.
Probably know him just from seeing people around. There's coffee shops I frequent to see like unhoused clients in the city. There's a specific coffee shop I frequent, and the thing of it is, there's people in there now who know me. Hey, Amina, how are you? Oh, you here meeting a client today? Like, just people who frequent there or work from home, and so it's very easy if you're extroverted in a community, especially in a coffee shop serving shisha, that you
general details.
That you'll make a friend. Like, that's before technology. That's how we made friends and found dates.
Oh, absolutely.
You had to go outside, believe it or not.
One of my best friends now, I met her working at Starbucks. She was a regular customer. We just happen to have a lot in common, and like literally, we were trying to pitch a Real Housewives of Phoenix thing, because she wanted to do that. We got our girlfriends in line, and we did that. Like, there's a lot of people you meet in coffee shops that you're like, yeah, and you get the general information, you become really good friends with them and stuff like that. But it's not a long time. Now, her I've known for 10 years. So I do consider this a long-standing friendship. But if I just known her for 3, I wouldn't consider such a good friend, because she really don't know me outside of the Starbucks, thing.
I feel like 5 years is the number. 3 years, you could, that to me,
that's iffy. Yeah.
That's a potential season. But yeah, these run, Laura. Now, the last people we go discuss is Rick and Trisha. Nasty nigga. Now, he grosses me out.
This is another Trisha. I need you to run, baby. Run as fast as you can. Get on somebody's scooter and run the fuck out of there, because this man is
handsome, but he's not that handsome. He's kind of just regular to me, and I don't understand it. They're on an island. He's still lying to her. we know they're not together in real time from a post I saw that she did, but I love lemurs, y'all. Everyone who's seen the movie Madagascar should love lemurs too. I love animals in general though, so I was happy to see all the little lemurs around. I thought they were just fucking cute, and I want to go there with my husband and do things I shouldn't do. But I love lemurs. I do. And that beach was beautiful. When I said that sandbar, you just want to bend over with your spouse and have a time on that sandbar and then go look at a monkey. It looked like the funnest little time. So I'll give Madagascar is beautiful. I actually looked it up. It's affordable too to visit. So all Rick and Trisha are making me want to do is go to Madagascar. I'm sick of him. He talk about bringing stepmom home to these babies. Stop trying to find a bitch to raise your kids and raise them yourself, bro. Because that's what it's starting to give. They have this conversation about kids, and Trisha's a midwife. She births babies. She says in Madagascar culture, she should have a child, which I believe any country in that part of the world, regions of Africa, they're big on that. They believe you should bear
Absolutely.
kids. We learned that Rick is older than her daddy by 2 years. Her dad may not be okay with her being with an older man. Her dad has no idea that she's with a man who has kids. So she's been keeping secrets from her family. She's 25, going on 15 doing that. This man keeps telling her he's in no position to have a child. He's 52 years old. He doesn't want to have another kid. I don't blame him. But how dare you go looking for a woman that is in her childbearing years? If you are 52 and you don't want to have kids and you're a man, don't go dating no woman between the ages. Honestly, don't go dating any woman under 40 who don't have kids unless she really does not want them. And women do change our minds. Okay. Years ago, I was going to fertility trying to have babies. If you ask me right now if I want a baby, you get the strongest hell no and possibly a backhand. Okay, so women can change our minds. Sometimes we feel it, sometimes we don't. It's just a fact, especially if we're in our luteal phase. But that's a whole nother conversation I'm not going into. And we're entitled to change our mind.
Yes.
You know, because it takes 9 months to carry a baby. And in order to do that, we have to ovulate every fucking month and go through a 28-day cycle. So step to the side and be quiet if you're a man. But he should not go looking for a woman he knows wants to have kids, knowing that he is at a space where he doesn't want to have anymore. And I don't know why he won't just tell her, no, I'm not going to be open to it. That part I don't understand. But Rick, you need to tell her the truth. That's all I'm going to say. I'm getting tired of seeing this girl just have her time wasted. She's very young, so I can't even get at her for staying in the situation. But I'm sick of Rick. He just creeps me out, James.
He creeps me out as well, and you can see the manipulation of it all, and that really bothers me because I feel like for her to be youngest than his oldest child and he's still acting like this is absolutely insane. It's just absolutely insane, and you ought to be ashamed of yourself, sir. And then the other thing is, I didn't understand the whole baby thing because you have baby children. What is one more to the bunch? I would much rather you say I can't afford to do this versus I'm getting up there in age because you have what, a 2 and a 4-year-old, or I believe that's the age of them.
He has small kids.
Yeah, you have small kids. So you giving her another child would not make a difference in that if you really wanted to. I just think you can't afford to do that shit. Afford to bring another baby into this world and then also try to get her here. And then I just don't think he wants to do that. I think he wants to have her out there and have her in this limbo stage because I think this is fun for him. I do believe, like, and this is allegedly, even my name is alleged, I do think he has other women in lieu. I think in LA, because I don't see him going without for very long. I don't see that at all. I think he can get him some on a regular. I do. And I've said this before because he looked like the type.
He does. Ciao, Rick and Trisha, I honestly agree with everything you said about them. I'm tired of him. He's got some explaining to do. Let me tell y'all, this tell-all will be interesting. Their reunions, that's what they call them with 90 Day. It will definitely be interesting. Also, we are new to covering 90 Day Before the 90 Days. Myself and James will be covering 90 Day The Single Life, which airs in February, which is very soon. So be on the lookout for that. just because it does. I used to cover 90 Day the Single Life, and it doesn't make sense to just cover one of these. We also encourage everyone to subscribe to our new YouTube channel, Watch Your B3ST Friends, Watch Your Best Friends. We will be working on getting some things going with that channel, likely in February. But we appreciate everybody for tuning in. Shout out to our replay gang. See the link in the description of this video for James's channel, as well as the Watch Your Best Friends channel and other great content creators such as Shayna and Kiwan. Head over to James's channel now because we are going to get into Housewives of Potomac and Married to Medicine. Other than that, love and light, like the video, and we'll see you next time. Adios.